Uganda needs 2.6 trillion to pay the present pensioners till death.
So the issue of a mandatory age, there's no way you can put it in the law because it changes as the demographics of the country change.
There's also an aspect of midterm access, that you can access your benefits. So why should you trade this with nothing?
Ubra is there. In fact, Ubra is much specific.
I think the Ubra Act is one of the best legislations we have in the context of regulating the pension sector.
This dialogue is a part of a series of digital dialogues run by Parliament Watch Uganda and the Center for Policy Analysis and funded by the US Embassy in Kampala. The aim of the dialogues is really to engage citizens on issues that are being discussed in Parliament, to get their opinions and to get feedback from members of Parliament using technology and innovative ways to do this. I think at this point in this country, it's a very interesting discussion to be having about what is the relevance of the liberalization bill and how does it affect us as citizens. Discussing the pension sector has for a long time been something that has been left to technocrats, but as a citizen, what does that mean to you? When you hit retirement age, what benefits will accrue to you? Currently, there are only 4 schemes, but of those 4, only one benefits a big number of citizens. That's saving your money with National Social Security Fund. There have also been a lot of challenges about the issues of corruption with this fund, the issues of access, because only employers who employ 5 and more people can save money there. So what about the rest of the citizens? What about the citizens in the informal sector? When then we look at this bill that has been brought to the floor of Parliament, will we benefit? Does that mean social protection extends to the rest of the country? And what are provisions laid down to ensure that the money of citizens are protected once they are transferred to the hands of the private sector?
Quote from the law of Ubra. They say, protect the interest of the members and beneficiaries of retirement benefit schemes, including the promotion of transparency and accountability.
This is a discussion that Parliament Watch is pushing for to engage young people and citizens on matters that are still in Parliament. On the panel, we've had Mr. Dan Gabrano, and Dan is really arguing against the bill because there have not been enough safeguards put in place for people and to ensure that there's protection of their money.
Now, because of the importance and because of how fundamental social security is, it must not be entrusted with private actors because at their heart is profit. The well-being of citizens does not matter.
Honorable Tim Wanga is a member of Parliament who is on the Finance Committee, a finance person himself, and is giving us perspectives on what the committee has been engaged in, what he learned from benchmarking, and why we should still go ahead and push the bill in the state that it is.
Talking about the scheme to go to, I want to quote from the law of Ubra. Ensure sustainability of the retirement benefits sector with a view to promoting long-term capital development. Now, really, that's their function. When we're talking about NSSF, the government is not going to be there because the Minister of Finance is not there, but Ubra is there. In fact, Ubra is more specific, I think.
But the question then is, how will NSSF compete February once the economy is liberalized? And how will we protect people if this happens?
As it stands right now, the regulator offers guidance on where this money can be placed, on where savers' money, long-term savers' money can be invested. And we follow the same guidelines as NSSF or as any other private fund manager. Be very aware of people who fear competition.
Lillian Mugerwa is a human rights lawyer that doesn't need a lot of introduction and has been pushing for socio-economic rights. And her argument is why we do have socio-economic rights and why we should go ahead and liberalize this sector. We need to ensure that social protection covers a big part of the population in Uganda.
I think in the last 10 years I've been into this, we've talked about decentralization and sharing of power, and the pension sector cannot run away from this. So UBRA needs to be left to play its role as the regulator of the sector, and that will ensure safety of our funds.
So liberalization is fine, but what are we instituting to put in place to protect Ugandans? We have an interesting perspective from Mr. George Mulindwa, who's with the private sector. And we're looking at what benefits does the private sector get.
With liberalization, then you have options, you have different ideas coming through. I know for sure that solutions will improve with just competition.
With this conference, a big number of our following is following on Twitter and watching our live stream of the discussion. The idea is to get more young people, more citizens, civically aware and interested in participating in issues that affect their country, especially at a legislative level before it becomes law, because it has implications.
I would like in a special way to thank the US Embassy for supporting this initiative, and thank you all for coming.